All right, kids, so here's part 2 of the April sketch box. So using the pens that I got from the April sketch box, I'm going to put these back, I created a piece of artwork. But before I even started that, I made this. This is a little chart, and it talks about, well, it doesn't talk about, I tested out all of the pens. So April sketch box. And this is the Curtake. It's black. And I did some samples. This is the Emont. These are these things. So the colors are named by numbers. There's a 60, 49, 39, 72, 73. Tombow. This is also a Tombow, but it's much lighter. These are the brush markers. There's a neutral gray, a red gold, a copper, and almond. There's also a colorless blender, but it doesn't make a color. So I wanted to show what each of them do. So over in this corner, I made lines using these markers. This is a mixture of this marker for the background, and this one made the pattern on top. These right here are these again. With this one, if you look between where the gray is, I use the colorless blender to blend. This one has the almond and this red, I think. So I ended up using all of the colors. Now, as a little review, as you look at those and you think, oh, that's interesting. Using the colorless blender, these I love because they have a brush point. Anything with a brush, I love, especially when the brush is actually, don't push too hard if you ever get some of these. And then here's a darker one. This is the light. This is the dark. And you can actually take the colorless blender and blend it together. Make some value. One thing you want to remember is you see how the blender got dirty. You want to make sure you clean it. So usually what I do is I have a clean piece of scrap paper and I just keep wiping it until the point is clean. One thing I have to say is I thought this would be waterproof, and it's not. So if I go and I draw, for example, if I outline something, I don't know, square, outline square, and I go to use one of these markers, this is the red gold. Because these are so wet, this one you don't see it as much, but the color will bleed. You can actually see it really well. I'll take my Tombow, and you'll see the black starts to mix in to the other color. So then I have to go back and I have to clean this brush because I don't want it to have black on it. So pens are cool. These are nice and fine, but they are water-based. So if I come back with the blender or a lighter color, it's going to bleed. So it's something to keep in mind. These are super, super juicy and wet. So when you use these, this will smear. You can see this one smeared. It's all over my finger. So it's something to keep in mind. These are all water-based markers, as opposed to, I like to use a lot of permanent markers, which are not water-based. So these will take some getting used to, though I still love these the best. I have some of those in different colors that I've gotten before. I have a, no, this is not it. This is a different brand. I do know I have some of those in a different color somewhere. Thought I did. Maybe I don't. Maybe I do. Maybe. But as opposed to in the past, I've gotten Copics, and those are not water-based. They are permanent. So this is a Copic. And these are quite juicy, meaning they put down a lot of ink, but they do not smudge. So, especially on the right paper. This paper sucks it up really good, as opposed to this stuff. And that smears. So, difference between permanent, alcohol-based, not permanent, water-based. But still pretty cool. Nice effects. I like the metallics. Gives it interesting contrast. Made me really think about the design. I ended up doing some Zentangles because it's just easier for me to do as opposed to trying to do something realistic, but I might go back and try something else later. So that's about it. It's my rainy day April sketchbox review. See you later.